as I am getting older, I'm trying to slow down the game a little bit with my faster, younger training partners. And so I wanted to show you guys something that I've shown on the channel before and how I'm using it to set up a guard passing position that allows me to stay really tight, slow down the action in gi or no gi. And so if you guys are interested in learning that, stick around to watch that. As always, my lovely assistant to help me do that is Mr. Adam Wilson. Let's get started. As if you follow my email list, or if you follow me on other things like the podcast and everything else, you've probably heard me talk about becoming an old man, being an old man. Now again, for all you like older guys that are in like, you know, the 50s and plus, hold your AARP cards. I know I'm not as old as you, right? But again, from me being 20 and then getting older, I still find my age, and especially with some of the younger guys that are in here, if I try to match speed with them, that's really difficult. So this is something I've been working on. So I wanted to show you guys something I was using and connect it with something I've already shown on the channel. So a couple years back, I was showing this position. I call it the arm scoop, where I switch hips and I get in here to attack kimuras. For any of you guys that have my arms race course, I go into this position in depth, but again, I have a few videos on this YouTube channel as well showing this, where I get here to go for the attack. And so basically what happens is I can do this from side control or half guard, but a lot of times like people start fighting for underhooks here, this kind of thing, I can switch my hips, boom, get the person flat and begin to attack the arm. Now, if the arm doesn't work, right, or if they're really good at catching this underhook here and I can't quite get this position, here's what I've been doing. I've been going underneath of this arm, driving, and then getting here. A couple details. One, I'm really making sure to drive this knee. I hit this on people all the time. If someone goes into you like this, if they go really hard with the upper body, but their hips are not over like this, what's gonna end up happening is he can do a quick hip shovel giggler, boom, and then knock me off balance. So as I'm driving him over, I'm making sure that my knee is leading, and then I go and get this crossface here. And then this is the position that I'm basically using. And I can't remember if I've shown this a bit on the channel or not. Basically a chest to chest, half guard position, where I can get in nice and tight, put my chest on the person here. This leg is staying really tight up here because I don't want to leave it down here where they have access to things like lockdowns and everything else, which gives me trouble. So I keep this in tight, and I get into position, ear to shoulder, and I'm tight. And my head is really far down, so this way he can't get a frame. And from this position, I take my time. What's nice about this is my chest is on the person. I'm putting a lot of pressure on their diaphragm. It makes it really hard for them to breathe. And so as I'm sitting on top of them, if we had like little imaginary energy meters, right? Like a fighting game, his energy would be slowly going down as mine basically is just kind of staying steady. And this has been a nice position when I'm rolling with younger guys who have a lot of energy, a lot of movement that I don't want to necessarily match, where I can get here and I can stay really tight. So for a lot of you older guys that want to slow the positioning down, you can do it this way. Also, this is not gi dependent. You can do this gi or no gi. I know a lot of older people say I don't like the gi because, or I don't like no gi because I don't have grips. You don't have to use these grips. You can learn other grips that you can use as well. And so by getting in here, I can have a lot of tight pressure, and it makes it really hard for him to play from this position. And then from here, if I want to get ready to go for the pass, I start to shift and get up to my head. Little small detail here. If you notice what I did. So from here, I'm shifting to the side and getting his face locked over so he has to face this direction. Because once I get up here and I start to like slide this knee in and I start to put the butterfly hook on the other side, if his head is straightened up like this and he can bridge up to my, that could get me off balance. So by shifting to the side here, putting that butterfly hook in here, he can only bridge right now to his right side, which isn't going to be a big deal for me because that's where I'm trying to get to anyway. And then once I get into this position, another detail that may be of use to you is once I get to this mount position, I'm digging my spurs in. That's what we say, dig our spurs in, and being very light on the knees. A lot of people hold mount and they're way too heavy on the knees. We want to be light on the knees because we want to make sure that all of our weight is on our partner here. So one more time on this position. So again, whether the person's going for an underhook or maybe they're just here, I'm jumping across and switching my hips here, catching the arm and trying to attack Kimura. If it doesn't work, I'm going to go underneath of the arm, and then I'm going to drive this knee to the mat, and then we get the underhook here, and again, position my body right here. A lot of pressure on his chest. And again, what you want to think about when you're using chest-to-chest pressure, it's not a squeeze with your arms. It's a squeeze with your upper back muscles. One of the things, like my nutrition coach, bodybuilding coach, he talks about, like we were talking about this, that my back muscles are overdeveloped for like basically everything else. And a lot of that comes from when I'm in these positions here, we'll do long holds where I'm pulling up. And that's my upper back muscles squeezing in just like this. I'm not squeezing hard my biceps or anything like that. It's just upper back muscles. And then from there, when I'm ready to go for the pass, and I've done enough like squeezing to kind of keep them down, we shift, get that face into position, place your head on the mat as a post, and then we can start to slide, use this butterfly hook, and pry ourselves out of there. Now that last part will probably take somewhere close to a minute or two. When you get that butterfly hook in, it's going to take a few minutes because a lot of times people will hold on to that leg as long as they can, so you're going to have to slowly work that out there. But that's the position that I've been working on. It connects to that arm scoop position that if you have my arms race course, or if you've watched that series on the channel already and you like it, then that's something else you can do with this to turn it into a pass. And again, you can get to that position and just slow people down. Again, it's a slower passing position, so you don't want to rush through it, but it's been working really well for me. And I'll show you guys some more details as I find them that might be useful to some of you guys, some of you older guys out there, or older women. I say guys, just sort of universal. So anyway, I'm finished. Adam?